Now joined by Chad Bishop from the AJC, of course, doing all things Georgia Tech. Chad, let's just talk about this insane win on the flats. What did it mean for Georgia Tech to knock off Clemson, the team that you pretty much write in ACC champion almost every single year? How big was that for the Yellow Jackets?
Yeah, this one seemed different, right? Like Georgia Tech has had some big wins in the past few years with Brent Key at the helm, beating Florida State in Dublin, beating Miami at home, who was a top five national contender, right? National title contender. But yeah, this one was different. Tech's 2-0. Clemson, like you said, the unanimous pick really to win the ACC this season. And they held their own for 4 quarters and got it to a position where they could win that kick. And then if you look at long term, big picture, not a whole lot left on this Georgia Tech schedule, right, for them to take care of business. So they're really put themselves in the driver's seat to be in contention for this ACC title now by beating Clemson.
It If you aren't familiar with watching Haynes King, it looks like this man is putting himself through a car wreck every single time out there. But his toughness also, it seems like it's infectious with the rest of the team. Is he really the heart and soul of that? Not just the offense, but that defense as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I go back to the 2024 season when Haynes King was not able to play against Notre Dame and Virginia Tech, and it's not that Tech did not have a chance in those games, but you could just sense a different team without him out there on the field. He just means so much to that locker room, and the staff really, and the players. I mean, Brent Key said on Monday morning in a radio interview, he epitomizes what everything that Georgia Tech football is about right now: his toughness, his grittiness, team over me, his leadership, all those qualities really stand out in the forefront. So outside of the numbers, yeah, he is undoubtedly the heart and soul of this Georgia Tech football program.
That game was pretty much, I think that's the way they had to win it. Don't be
Mhm.
flashy. It's got to be gritty. And Brent Key also showed that he got a little emotional in the post game, saying that this has been 3 years building up to this point. Does that really show how much he's poured his heart and soul into this program?
Yeah, I've compared this football program to like slow cooked barbecue, right? Like they did not bring in like 70 transfers year over year, try to make a quick fix. Like, when Brent Key was the interim coach in 2022, he knew he was going to have to sort of build this thing from scratch, and it wasn't going to be pretty at times. It wasn't going to be sexy and flashy. Bringing a lot of tough guys to play, bringing a lot of tough coaches to coach, and it sort of culminated in that win on Saturday. Of course, the trick moving forward is to put wins back to back to back to back, right? But yeah, I think he was emotional because like it's been a long time coming. This is the way he envisioned it, and his vision is finally starting to take shape.
As you mentioned, the let off here is pretty dramatic. You go from the highs of taking down big front loaded teams, the Clemsons, Colorados of the world, to Temple. And
Yeah.
no disrespect to Temple, but it's just a different caliber of team. How can they maintain, like, okay, we should win this one by double digits, but if you lose by double digits, you become a different kind of story?
Yeah, I think this team is a little bit different, and they harp on the fact that they have 27 seniors on this roster, and a lot of those seniors have seen a loss to Bowling Green at home, right? A couple years ago, they've seen last year when Georgia Tech was ranked 23rd, and they went to Syracuse and kind of took one on the chin in that game. So I think the leadership and the veteran status of a lot of these players is going to help this Tech team moving forward. I thought it was telling that immediately after the win, linebacker EJ Lightsey said, our goal wasn't to go 3-0 and to beat Clemson. Like our goal is to win every game every week. And I think there's a maturity about this team, but they're going to have to handle it, right? They're not the hunters anymore. They're going to be the hunted now. They're going to be favored in most games. The end of the month, they play Temple and then go to Wake Forest. The month of October, they got to go to Duke and go to NC State. There's a tough game at Boston College in November. And of course, Georgia is looming. So they got a long way to go. A lot of sunshine and rainbows right now, but they got to figure out how to handle it coming up in the next few weeks.
We saw the field goals obviously end up not in the stadium anymore. Very exciting. Is there a lot of cautious optimism, though, around Tech about what they can do this season?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Especially like we've mentioned with the schedule sort of laid out the way it is. There's no Louisville, there's no SMU, there's no Florida State, there's no Miami. You've already beaten Clemson. So, yeah, I mean, I think Tech fans certainly have that feeling of like, do we trust that this is really about to happen? Like we've kind of seen this story before where things don't work out in our favor. Excuse me. But yeah, I think with the personnel they have on this roster, with the coaching staff they have, with the schedule laid out in front of them, I think there's some big time optimism that this Tech team is special and can make a big time run toward an ACC title.
And my last question for you: has Tech arrived? But again, it is early. But we've seen the framework, the senior class lead it.
Mm-hmm.
would it not surprise you if they were bowl eligible, maybe make even some noise for some big time bowls as well?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think they've arrived quite yet. Let's pump the brakes, right? It's 3 games. You beat Clemson. That's great. But again, and Brent Key would agree, I think consistency is the name of the game. So you got to go beat Temple now. You got to go win at Wake Forest. You got to win some of these ACC games that are going to be tough on the road. You have to do it week in and week out. It's one thing to beat a ranked team, which Tech is now 7-1 against ACC ranked opponents under Brent Key. That's great. But get to 5, 6, 7 wins. I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen, but I think we all need to see it happen.
And a guy like Malachi Hosley, that rushing attack helps
Yeah.
control the pace. Not only the Tames, but we see Jamal and Malachi do great things. Is that going to be the tip of the spear moving forward?
Yeah, definitely. I've been really impressed with Malachi Hosley. He came in from Penn and the Ivy League, and ACC is obviously a step up from that. So no one's really sure how he's going to handle that. But week 1 at Colorado, backup running back Trelane Maddox went out early, and Malachi was sort of that 2A, 2B option. And he's played great in 3 games and really been a really change of pace from starter Jamal Haynes in the backfield. Really impressed with that kid's sort of moxie and confidence and his toughness with which he runs. And again, going back to that word toughness, Brent Key's not adding you to the roster if you're not tough. And I think Malachi Hosley has certainly shown that 3 weeks into the season.
A busy man as always. Chad Bishop, thank you so much for your time.
All right, my friend. See you.